Hello. Are you a highly sensitive person, or have you heard of this trait? It makes up about 20% of the population, and it's also called sensory processing sensitivity. I'm Julie Bieland, and I'm a psychotherapist that specializes in this trait. We have a lot of things that we share in common, and if you haven't learned about this trait, I really encourage you to do more. I have a resources page on my website that has lots of information, and there are real brain differences and that we experience as highly sensitive people and that make us, experience the world in unique ways. Part of what's showing up in the research is that we really need a lot of downtime, a lot more than 80% of the population. And I've seen Elaine Aron, who is a pioneer in researching this trait, recommend, and I also agree with her, that we recommend that you get 2 hours a day of alone time and you have one full day off a week, most of it alone time if possible. And we also recommend trying to get in 1 week per season off if you work. Obviously, this is difficult for young parents, for example, but there's lots of creative ways of getting some time to yourself, and it's absolutely essential. It's something that shows up in all of the HSPs that I work with. We call HSPs short for highly sensitive person. And that's something that I really wanted to recommend to you. It is something, I work with HSPs in my global course as well as in my global coaching and in psychotherapy. And it is something that shows up over and over again, that the key to thriving as a highly sensitive person is to have more downtime. That really means that you aren't doing chores or to-do lists or work, but really taking time, for yourself. And that is going to involve quiet time if possible, because this is a sensory sensitivity trait. We really want to try to reduce, the senses in that downtime. So different things like being in nature and quiet spaces. Sometimes if I'm really feeling depleted, I might go into my room and my cozy bed, and I'm going to, dim the lights and not have sounds. That's something that kind of helps us to kind of rejuvenate. One of the reasons why we need that is because we have what's called a depth of processing, and that means we're taking in lots of information constantly brain-wise. And as you can imagine, that creates overstimulation. And oftentimes, people that don't know yet about this trait aren't even aware that it's the sensory information that's causing the overstimulation, the depletion, and feelings like that, and that our brain actually needs more time to download and process. Think of it like a supercomputer brain. If you think about a supercomputer, for example, and if it's constantly downloading information, it's going to freeze eventually if it doesn't have time to download and process that information. And that's very similar to what our brains need. And if you're looking for ways to, talk to your family about your needs, I have some suggestions. I recommend that HSPs try to educate those around you about the trait. Share resources and information and research. We have research that proves that this is a real trait, and it's actually been already found in 100 species. You can see a lot of the newer research on Elaine Aron's website, and I provide links to that on my website as well. And it's just so incredibly important to understand the differences. And most of us have a lot of stress and high anxiety. Sometimes depression is there. And if we can take care of ourselves and prioritize ourselves in the way we need to, we can really thrive. And that's my mission for HSPs, is to help you thrive. So one of the ways to talk to your family might be, if they've already known about the trait, or if not, you could teach them a little bit about the trait as you learn about it, and say that you've heard that it's recommended that these are the times that you're going to need to take some alone time. If you have older children that can stay alone, I recommend talking to them about the fact that you're going to need that. I did that with my boys, and kind of check in with them if they need anything and let them know that you're going to be taking this downtime to meditate or just time to yourself for a period of time, and let them know not to disturb you and that you'll come out when you're ready, unless it's an emergency, of course. But it's okay to teach our family what we need, and it's really important. And what's going to happen is you're actually going to feel a lot better, and that's going to show up in your mood, and your family's going to want that for you. And you're going to want to think about sharing this with friends and other members of your family about who you are and what your needs are. And I stipulate that if your friends understand you and your family really understands what your needs are, they're going to want to support that. And they're going to want you to be at your best. And having that self-care really helps you be at your best. It's one of the things that is drastically transforming in our lives, even if you just make that one shift in your life to give yourself more alone time. When's the last time you just did nothing? Maybe you read a book, you just listened to some music, you walked in nature, you did a hike. Things that fill you up. That's what you want to spend more time doing, so that you can kind of balance the depletion that is experienced in, doing too much. I think most people have about 30% more on their plate than they should, than they have ability to and energy for. So little things can help us make some shifts like that. Just learning how to say no, prioritizing our needs, all of that are things that are really important. And most HSPs prioritize everybody else before themselves. And in my courses, it's so transforming to watch HSPs learn how to do the right amount of self-care and the right type of prioritizing. And then they really start to thrive, and it's exciting to witness, and something that I've certainly experienced as an HSP. It's an essential part of living well. We can't compare ourselves to 80% of the population who has a different experience than us. And it's important to learn more about this trait. You really can thrive with it. And if you're feeling sort of underwater and buried in life, it's time to make some shifts. You deserve that. And we need more HSPs thriving out in the world, because we offer some amazing gifts. More intuition, compassion, very caring people who really care about people in the world and want to do the right thing. These are HSPs, but we need to take care of ourselves in the right ways. So share some of this, maybe even share this video with your friends and family and let them know who you are. I have lots of videos on my YouTube channel that cover lots of different topics, and I have a lot of information on my website too. And I really want you to live your best. You really can, and I wish you the very best. You take good care of yourself.